I'm trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid's solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
My kid heard that solo!
You see what I did?
Yeah!
Come on! What's wrong with you?
Being a man used to be simpler. You guard the cave, provide sustenance, honor thy name. A handshake sealed the deal, and a word was a promise. Today, things are a bit more complicated. We try to impress people we don't know by acquiring things we don't need. We have friends lists, but few real friendships. Things like integrity and kindness have fallen by the wayside. How can we know if we measure up when the scale is constantly changing? The Freemasons believe that a man's job is to be the best version of himself possible, to pursue truth and self-discovery. We give more and take less. We connect with our fellow man so that we may learn from each other, to challenge one another to live up to our highest ideals. We believe a man should be judged by his strength of character, his willingness to make sacrifices to improve both himself and the lives of those around him. For hundreds of years, the Freemasons have helped men find more meaning, to make connections with other men in a way that truly matters. For those seeking a deeper sense of purpose, a chance to make lasting friendships. To reach higher. To find more.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Hamilton Southeastern High School, a championship Saturday on IndianaSRN. It is the 1A title game, South Bend St. Joseph against Guerin Catholic. Great to have you with us. Troy Darengowski along with Joey Lindstrom. We have two, what I believe to be two exciting games here today, and it's going to start with this one, Guerin Catholic and South Bend St. Joe. Joey, talk a little bit about the matchup here today as these two teams look for a state title.
Well, on Tuesday, Guerin Catholic absolutely rolled through Heritage Christian, and it was because of their offensive efforts. You look at this team and you say, I can't even fathom how much offensive prowess they have. We talked to Coach Barry prior to the game, and he was a man of few words because he didn't want to give too much away. He just said, I'm going to let the guys do what they do best. And, I mean, you work all season for this day. And both sides. And you work all season for this day to finally come. And now that it's here, you can't have too much of a – I mean, you have a game plan to go in, but you just got to let it all go. All your preparation is going to speak for itself.
Guerin Catholic, by the way, to show you how dominant they have been in the last several games, let's go with their last five. They've outscored their opponents 65-14. Rafe Rainey, an all-state player, Luke Abel, another all-state player. Those are two of the guys you're talking about of the many that they have, because we'll go up and down the lineup. So many promising young players that are going to see a next level. But let's talk about South Bend St. Joe. They kind of limped their way into the state tournament, but then now they've found their groove a little bit to get to the title game here today.
They have, and Coach Margulis has created a program that, you know, he says we're young, and we plan to be here not only this year but years to come. Focusing on today, though, they also have a lot of offensive prowess. I'm looking at Luke Thomas and Antonio Morel and Joseph Sarator to get their offense started immediately, but they're going to need to win at the face-off. These teams rank 1 and 2. St. Joe number 1, Guerin Catholic number 2 in the state as far as face-offs go. It's going to be a huge matchup.
So we are about ready to start this one here this afternoon. Before we do so, let me remind you that today's game brought to you in part by Express Lacrosse, established on Long Island over 25 years ago. It is the most renowned lacrosse club in the United States. We'll get back to more of that coming up in a couple of moments. You're watching Championship Lacrosse right here on IndianaSRN.
Why do more graduating seniors choose Ivy Tech Community College over any other school? Ivy Tech offers flexibility, a wide variety of programs, and thousands of classes, including online options. Our certificates and degrees get students into a great career quickly. And if you want an affordable path to a bachelor's degree, we have guaranteed admissions programs with most four-year universities in Indiana. So you can start at Ivy Tech and transfer as a junior. Ready for a great education at the lowest cost? Complete a free application today.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Yes, you have. No cheering out there. Back once again here at Hamilton Southeastern High School. Let me finish quickly about Express Lacrosse. You know, they're a founding member of the National Lacrosse Federation. Long Island Express and its affiliates provide opportunities for their players to compete with and against the best in the game. Midwest Express, part of the esteemed Long Island Express family, was established right here in Indiana, and they offer highly competitive student athletes in the Midwest an opportunity to strive for their personal best. With access to the most selective tournaments in the country, players in the Midwest now have a level playing field with traditional hotbed areas. Attend their tryouts. Mark it down August 21st and 22nd for your chance to be the best. Well, here we go. Warm day here today. I was listening a little bit to South Bend St. Joe talking about they got to keep their players fresh here today. I think that's certainly the case on both sides. But let me ask you, let's get keys to this one here. Let's start first off with South Bend St. Joe. Average about 9 goals per game. Not a really high-scoring team, but they only give up 5. What do they need to do to win today?
Defense wins championships, right? The old adage. And I think when we talked to Coach Margulis, what he emphasized really is we know that they have an offensive prowess. Guerin's average goal differential is about 5, right? So if St. Joe's scoring 9, only giving up 5, perfect, right? So it's just goes to show you that no matter what, as long as your defense is sound and you're able to combat, you may not be able to stop them, but if you can slow Guerin Catholic down, that is going to be a huge key for South Bend St. Joe. And we're going to have to see it right away in the first half. They have to set that tone early if they want to win this game.
All right, pick your poison. Who do you try to stop on the other side? Rafe Rainey, Luke Truffer. Who do you want to try to stop here?
I think you got to stop the hot hand. 5 goals for Luke Abel on Tuesday night. That is when you can ride that momentum into your next game. If you are Luke Abel, the worst thing that can happen is they key on you and you have to be stopped. So you have to trust your teammates. You have to look to the next pass. You have to set good backdoor picks for your guys to cut towards the net, and that is ultimately going to save you a lot of both time and just you're going to score goals. It's going to be a lot easier when you can get your best players open early and often.
Joy, on their semifinal game, it was close in the first half, but it was just a different second half, and I was just totally surprised that Guerin was able to shut down their opponent that easily in the second half, but they were very patient on offense, too.
They were, and it just shows how Coach Barry gives his guys a lot of time to develop what their offense should be. I'm thrilled. I'm so excited to call this game with you and to see this talent on display in the 1A championship.
The white team will be Guerin Catholic. The team in the dark will be South Bend St. Joe. The face-off will be won by South Bend St. Joe. And you see that pressure defense already put together by Guerin Catholic. But here comes South Bend St. Joe as they'll work it to the right wing near the sideline. And you really got to love this Guerin Catholic defense. They will play man-to-man, and they will pressure the back 15 now for South Bend St. Joe, who will set the tone early in this one here today. Both teams very fired up coming out of the locker room on this warm Saturday. Championship Saturday here on IndianaSRN at the X. South Bend St. Joe on the attack once again, but there's that Guerin defense as they'll force it back out front.
Look for South Bend St. Joe to set those on-ball picks, wait for Guerin Catholic to slide, and then hit a cutter behind that behind that slide, because that's when your offensive player will be most open.
Once again, South Bend St. Joe will work it behind the goal and bring it to the left wing. We're just underway in this championship matchup. Antonio Morel, one of the guys to look for with the control of the ball on the left wing, as he will attempt to go near the goal left side. Ball kicked away, and it will go to the end line, and they're going to stay right here.
It's a good slide by Max McGreal, for the defender for Guerin Catholic, to draw that ball loose. St. Joe, take a breath.
Yeah, everybody feeling out process early in this one. That one is shot and scored. Good start again for South Bend St. Joe as Jack Helm gets the South Bend St. Joe squad on the board here in the first period.
Beautiful play and a nice stick work to get on the outside. Gets his strong hand going and already getting St. Joe on the board. Beautiful play. Best way to follow it up, go get another one.
Boy, he had a really good look, didn't he? It was a nice play there for South Bend St. Joe. So 1-0 here in the opening period of play. Face off again, and for the second time, won by South Bend. As St. Joe in control once again here for this opening period of play, and a quick start already for South Bend St. Joe.
Tobalski, the number one face-off man in Class 1A, showing why, and the first 2 faceoffs, winning them easily.
Right at the X behind the goal, and now the shot will be saved. Good job and excellent quickness in goal for Guerin Catholic. Ball loose and a turnover for Guerin. On the attack now, Luke Thomas, and Thomas scores unassisted on that one, and it's quickly 2-0.
What did we talk about in the beginning? We talked about the defense that Guerin needs to have, but clearing is such a big part of the game. You and I actually talked off mic before. Clearing becomes indicative of how your game went. It's very similar to football or basketball. The number of turnovers that you have, if you can't get it to the opposite end, you might be in trouble. And because of plays like this where you lose that on your clear, and credit to Luke Thomas, takes advantage, puts that one home, and it's 2-0.
Luke Thomas will play collegiately at Elmhurst, and he is now showing why he'll play at the next level with the first goal, and this time the faceoff will eventually be taken up by South Bend St. Joe and then lost on the sideline. Guerin able to get the takeaway, and now for the first time really today, Guerin on offense down 2-0.
Austin Fuda losing that one, unfortunately for St. Joe, but fortunately for Guerin Catholic, they regain possession. Let's see what they get started here.
Let me ask you, a little surprised by this hot start right now?
I'm not so surprised. I just expected it to be more play in the transition game, more feeling out, but so far, so good for St. Joe. They've taken advantage.
That's Evan Bear at the back 15 near the X, working on the left wing as they continue to work behind the cage. Guerin with the offensive attack now. Ball is loose after the shot attempt. It caromed out front, and South Bend St. Joe able to pick this one up, and here's their transition. Good speed near sideline. Ethan Fullenkamp, the senior, able to bring that one in the offensive end, and there'll be a change each way. In fact, we'll see 2 new players coming into the lineup for both teams.
Great clear there by South Bend St. Joe, easily creating space for yourself by taking the ball past the cage to X and get your line change out.
South Bend St. Joe, that shot a little bit wide to the left, but a good look from that left wing. That was number 5, Sarah Torr there for the South Bend St. Joe squad as they get back on offense once again. Another possession coming up at 8 minutes remaining here in the opening period of play. 2-0 your score. That's a low attempt and a good scoop. Tell you what, this guy in goal for Guerin is just about as good as you're going to get. Nathan Zarowski. Turnover, Guerin. Here comes South Bend St. Joe. Good knockdown on the deflection. And another turnover this time. Are they going to call it? It will go back to South Bend St. Joe.
Zarowski in the goal, 63% save percentage on the year. On the opposite side, his counterpart, Ben Bailey, the senior, 60% on the year. Both these goalies in cage, very, very solid, but also commanders of that defense. You have to be communicative if you want to win the defensive side.
Indians will have the possession, shot wide right. That was on the strong side for Zarowski, so he had a really good look at it. South Bend St. Joe, the Indians now will have it back once again as we come up on the 7-minute mark. Good look out front. Flynn Leonard, this is a young team. He's only a sophomore, as that will be saved. Zarowski once again on the low shot, able to go down and scoop that one away. Ball loose on a high pass, goes past midfield, and guess what? Another turnover. They can't clear it again.
And that's going to be the hardest part for Guerin to overcome, is being able to clear the St. Joe ride immediately out the gate has been very impressive.
Well, you were right in your pregame to talk about what it's going to take, and clearing was one of them. And we'll see if that's going to be a key the rest of the way. And right now, Guerin unable to do so effectively here in the opening period of play. So the Indians once again back on offense. A work back in the 15 range, and the ball kicked out front. Able to keep this one will be Antonio Morel, but loses it. He will battle with Charlie Storty there for Guerin. It'll stay here with the Indians. It's been a quick opening period of play, and it's been all South Bend St. Joe so far.
I think making sure you get your areas of need especially filled in. That one just an errant pass gets away from Sarator, but those kind of possessions you need to be able to capitalize on if you're St. Joe and you want to extend this lead as they take their timeout.
Yeah, we're going to have a timeout. I think they're doing this for the water break. We heard that earlier. We're going to take a timeout as well. You're watching Championship Lacrosse on Indiana SRN.
Greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
Want to remind you that Empire Lacrosse is your source for all things lacrosse. Established in 2004, their mission is to be recognized as a leader in the industry by offering excellent service, competitive pricing, and exceptional playing opportunities. From individual sales to team outfitting, leagues, and tournaments, Empire Lacrosse has everything you need to look good, feel good, and play great. Visit them online at EmpireLAX.com. That's EmpireLAX.com. And you got to replay that coming out of the timeout.
You know, you see Luke Thomas, the goal leader for St. Joe. He is such a good separation ability, right? He's able to create off his dodge, and he just uses a classic split dodge on that goal that we saw. I expect more out of that from St. Joe. Dodge at the top, roll through the box, and try to get another goal.
Ray Ferrani there for Guerin.
What a check.
Boy, that'll shake you up for sure. And South Bend St. Joe trying to clear as well. They got it near, or at least attempted to get it near midfield, but then taken away here by Andrew Jacomowitz. Jacomowitz one-on-one, ball deflected and goes out of bounds on the far side. Jacomowitz thought he had it clear right there.
Yeah, Jacomowitz had every bit of an angle on that shot. I'm not sure why he switched over to that inverted hand, if you will, right? And so he creates the move, he creates that space. Got to finish in these tight games, especially in the championship.
Now tell me a little bit about that. When you're a player like that and you do change your mind sometimes, what would you think? Did he see something different coming in?
I think maybe he didn't want to quite switch to his hand. Thought it might be quicker on that one, and obviously didn't work out. Just missed the cage. He'll have another chance though, I'm sure.
Boy, Guerin has not had possession of the ball very much here today as they'll work it behind the cage and bring it straight away. Short pass, shot, no. Jacomowitz tried to go low on the shot and a good save once again. Tell you what, Ben Bailey there in goal for South Bend St. Joe. He's got plenty of help from his defense here today as now South Bend St. Joe will try to clear it. Boy, Guerin chasing all over, aren't they?
Yeah, but I think they might have gotten away with a slash or check to the head, but it works out nicely.
Well, one thing for sure, I don't know how you feel as an offensive player, and those guys are slapping around at you like that all the time.
Yeah, I played defense way back when.
So you were doing the slapping.
I was doing the slapping. That was my thing.
It didn't bother you a bit, did it?
It bothered my coaches.
Yeah. So were you in the penalty box much? I mean, you okay? Yeah, we're getting the truth now. Coming up on 3:30 to go here in the opening period of play. Indians on top of this one, 2-0. Boy, look at Guerin. They're really extending that defense.
They sure are. When you do that, you do leave yourself vulnerable a little bit. Your slides are a little bit longer, can get guys out of position. But if you have the athletes, and Lacrosse has some of the best athletes around,
exactly.
I mean, you can get there and you can pull it off. Obviously, Coach Barry encouraging his guys to say, you know what, it's okay. We can have hot slides that are 10 yards away or what have you.
So now South Bend St. Joe resets up front as they work it down the left side, and that ball sails high. Didn't look like anybody hit that, and it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe somebody did get a stick on it right there.
I think you're right. Maybe a quick poke check on the butt. Good save there by Zarowski.
So off of the inbound from the end line, here comes Guerin once again as we're down to 2:48. They have not been very clean on offense. There's another high pass and a turnover again by Guerin Catholic.
Another failed clear for Guerin Catholic, and that does not spell well for them. They're 1 for 5 on their clears right now.
Well, so far Guerin has not had much to cheer about, as hard hit that time by Max McGreal, an all-state honorable mention player for Guerin. And South Bend St. Joe able to set it up again at 2:23. Ball went high again and goes out of bounds on the end line. Coming out of the lineup for Guerin will be Evan Bear. So 2:19 remaining. So far, Guerin unable to, kind of reminds me a lot of their matchup against Heritage Christian. They really didn't look very good offensively in the first half. But, well, they turned it on in the second half.
Could be just a late blooming team, and maybe that's been their style that they want to stick with. Is they want to feel out their opponent, find the weaknesses. I mean, that sure is something. You're chopping wood, if you will, right? And eventually, the tree's going to fall.
There's a shot low, and nice save again. Zarowski going low to get that shot, so here comes Guerin Catholic. Zarowski comfortable bringing that one, clearing it to midfield, and now Guerin, boy, ball loose.
Beautiful check. It's so tough sometimes to be able to check down low on the butt of the stick of a long pole. Great work by Tobolski to draw that one loose.
Morrell near the sideline, and checking all the way there is Thomas Berger.
And Berger letting him have it, too.
He was. And a errant pass again by South Bend St. Joe, picked up by Guerin. And now we've got a whistle, flag way back at the 40.
I saw the official signal offsides initially. Yep, looks like there was an offsides penalty, just a 30-seconder.
You got to like those officials. You must have gone after them again about making sure they look this way and get you the influence you have.
We need to know what's going on. And so do our viewers here on IndianaSRN. They were, you just got to get stripes on your side. They'll help you out. They'll give you some good signals out here.
I think we had to give them a microphone, too, and let them do it over the PA or something.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be good. Down to the last minute 15, and the Indians back on offense again. 2-0 lead. They'd love to get one more before the end of the opening period.
How about the crowd we're seeing? Both sides.
Oh, my.
It's awesome. You love to see it on state championship weekend. Guerin's got their student section down there.
Yeah, that is crazy. They stretch from one to almost, past halfway, 50-yard line beyond. Good save, Zarowski once again, but they were in force in the semifinal, too. We had a lot of fans there.
Tonight, I'm sure we'll see the HSE's crowd once again. They had the sea blue shirts was just over there, the home stands. It was great to see.
It certainly is, and here's the attack once again, put together by Guerin. High pass brought down and straight away. They have 23 seconds to go. Ray Ferrani's been held in check so far. Shot, knocked down, great save again. Ben Bailey almost looked like that one was off his stick handle. Pass turned over and taken away by Ryan Glenn. Long stick midi shot and another deflection. That was Austin Fuda there for South Bend St. Joe, and a good start for the Indians here today after the first 12 minutes of play. Indians lead Guerin Catholic 2-0. You're watching Championship Lacrosse on IndianaSRN.
It's the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor because land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a deer. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Thanks to one of our fine sponsors, True Lacrosse Indiana proudly supports the IHSLA, Indiana Premier Travel Lacrosse Team, fielding teams from under 8 through their senior year in high school. If you need more information, 317-727-6048. Let's take a look at the last save in the first half.
You know, I've been really impressed with the defense of St. Joe, but Ben Bailey so far really solid in the cage, standing tall, just taking every hit he can and making sure he's communicating to get the slides right, get the slides correct, and on his clears so far he's been able to get everyone in the same spot that they need to go.
What have you seen now that you like? You mentioned the defense early by South Bend St. Joe. What else have you liked about their first quarter play?
I think just the way that they're moving around. You don't see anybody standing. Sometimes a lot of teams will just kind of work the ball around, see what's open, occasionally get one cut. They are just moving all the time. Yeah. And I think that really you can put up defense really out of position. And if you really wanted to, what you really could do is you could set a pick. You could set 2 picks at the same time, completely far away from each other. We'll see if they move around like they've been doing. But I'm really mostly impressed with their defense and their ability to clear. I mean, 5 for 8 in that first quarter, that's solid. But Guerin Catholic, they need to improve their clears because 2 of 7 with the St. Joe ride is not going to get the job done. And that's why they might have a goose egg on the board right now. But according to their last game, they turned it on in the second half, so we'll see.
Well, this is Championship Saturday. Don't want to wait too long to get that thing turned around.
That's right.
Especially, you mentioned already the defense that South Bend St. Joe's played. So now the face-off won by the Indians. Another bad pass. This time ball will go to the far sideline, and both teams scamper for it, and eventually will be picked up by Ryan Glenn. And Glenn on the run, and a good check from behind by Joseph Sarator.
Glenn just trying to walk the dog and loses that one on the bend.
Shot wide right on the turn by Luke Thomas. As he was going down, he got hit right at the last second.
What a hustle play by Zarowski. Out of the cage, he chases after that ball. First man to get to the end line after a shot or a pass like that will retain the possession. Guerin gets it back. Let's see if they can clear.
You know, one thing about this, you look at the quickness, too, of both teams, the way they can advance it as fast as they do. And you see it right here by Guerin getting in a scoring position. Cooper Navarro, he had a great game against Heritage Christian. So now Guerin will set it up on the left wing and work it behind. That's Luke Truffer. He, too, was instrumental in that win, especially in the second half in the semifinal victory. Good defense again.
I love the move by Coach Margulis to get Fuda up there and the point to defend that midfielder. That's a great move.
So Guerin from behind the cage, work it right, or should say left wing. Shot is going to go wide by Evan Baer.
Raph Rainey was right there. I think he maybe took his eye off the ball as he was trying to catch it because he was at the doorstep. Would have been a really nice shot.
You know, he got injured in the last game, and Coach was talking to us before the game. Boy, there's a big-time hit. Wow. Their flag is down. But there's another flag down to Rafe. They said he had a really long cut on his chin, couldn't get to stop bleeding.
Yeah, he said that his helmet, somebody's helmet went ahead and scratched his chin pretty bad, so obviously you got to come out, but thankfully he's okay.
Yeah, the good news is that Luke Abel stepped up big time with the 5 goals in their semifinal win. Guerin back on offense following the flags that went down. There was a big-time hit, so now we wait as that ball goes past the end line.
You know, Rainey again, I think maybe just the fundamental passing, catching 2 plays in a row. I think he just maybe some state championship nerves. Those are very natural.
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully they can turn it around. I mean, he's a reliable player for them. They need him to play big.
I can tell you, watching them, they're in their semifinal matchup, they really don't look like the same team. That's the thing that kind of comes to my mind right now. The passing isn't as crisp. You mentioned the clears already, just some things that are a little bit uncharacteristic. Left wing, and he'll set it out front. Luke Abel, once again. Abel, young man, is as talented as there is in the state of Indiana. Now, ball is going to be deflected off the pass attempt by Truffer, and another turnover. South Bend St. Joe will clear it themselves. That is Quinn Boyer. And we've got a timeout. We will take a quick timeout as well. You're watching Championship Lacrosse on IndianaSRN.
A sports degree that is beyond the game? A degree that immerses you from day one and launches you into the business side of sports. With a sports management major from IUPUI's School of Health and Human Sciences, you'll have insider access to sports professionals and will learn from faculty with years of teaching and industry experience. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sport industry career.
We're at the end of the sports season, the spring sports season. You had Carmel winning the boys track championship. I think the girls going today. You have the state team tennis championships going on. South Bend St. Joe ended up winning the singles championship, and they're playing for the doubles. And then girls lacrosse earlier today at Warren Central. Carmel beat Hamilton Southeastern 13-8. So a lot of activities. We wind it down.
A lot of activities, a lot of similar teams in state championships. You wonder what's in the water in those places.
A lot of athletes to choose from, I think.
Absolutely.
So congratulations to all those teams winning the gold today and more coming. But right here, South Bend St. Joe making that long road trip. They came out, got warmed up early, and so far it has paid dividends.
Oh, nice check.
And a good takeaway as Jack Tobolski there for South Bend St. Joe, unable to get through that double team. So here's Guerin Catholic once again working it off the left wing.
Max McGreal with a beautiful check to get this ball and clear it himself all the way into the restraining box. It's huge for Guerin. 3 for 3 on their clears in the second quarter. Obvious improvement.
Hey, do you like the idea defensively that you, like Truffer got behind the cage? Would you rather have a man there on him? Or?
Especially in man down, no. You don't want a man behind the cage because you lose somebody in that box. You'd rather have somebody in the behind X just kind of working by themselves, and you want to defend, keep those other 5 offensive players gone.
Flag went down on the shot by Luke Abel as he wound up and powered that one in from long, and the Guerin Catholic crowd is on their feet. So the first goal of the day by Guerin Catholic, Luke Abel. Boy, he came up so big in that semifinal in the second half.
That he did. Watch this rip. Left-handed, top corner. Luke Abel showing why he made the All-American list released this morning, and just an unreal opportunity to take advantage of. And now you cut the lead in half. I mean, you go scoreless in the first quarter. I'm sure Coach Barry said, you know what, guys, you are so much better than what's on the scoreboard right now. And they've had opportunities, but since then, I mean, I'm going to keep pointing to it because I think it's so important, but already 3 for 3 in clears in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Obvious improvement creates offense. You get the man-up opportunity, and as the trailer comes on from the penalty box, huge play turns into a goal for Guerin.
Yeah, huge blast there. And then watching the replay, Ben Bailey, good reaction time, but a little bit late. And after winning the faceoff, an errant pass goes out of bounds. Anderson Davis unable to come up with it. So a turnover again for the Indians. So we'll see if old man momentum now will switch over to Guerin Catholic. Again, it was a tight matchup in their semifinal against Heritage Christian, and then they just dominated the second half. As you see Guerin Catholic back on offense once again, and they're doing it again without the play of Rafe Rainey. But he can come alive at any time, as you see South Bend St. Joe playing a little zone right here.
Yep, and that man down, defense, it kind of works like a box and one, similar to basketball, right? So you have one player in the middle trying to play that zone, and you'll let those shots be taken. Hopefully not often and as hard, but you'll let those shots kind of go. You don't want to let anything inside. You put that short stick defensive midfielder, at this time it's number 22, Ethan Follenkamp, in there to kind of replace that spot.
There's a second goal this time, long distance. Thank you, Luke Truffer, the junior from Guerin Catholic, and it's all of a sudden 2 apiece.
Huge goal from Truffer. He's got such a good ability to work with very minimal space, and he finds the opportunity here. 35th goal on the season. Right-hand bouncer, off-stick side of Ben Bailey.
Well, those shots are crazy, aren't they?
They sure are.
I guarantee you one thing: I would never see him coming. It would just. So.
I can confirm for you. You don't see them coming off, especially when you're a defender. You're kind of just looking for your guy. And all of a sudden, boom! Shot hits you in the head.
And the coach is, well, why didn't you see that? Right.
Right.
So Guerin back on offense. 2 unanswered goals. And we're knotted at 2 apiece, and all of a sudden you feel that momentum switching the other way. Guerin again, that pass knocked down. Good defense by South Bend St. Joe. And now loose ball picked up. Ground ball picked up, and here we go. Look at him cradle that with a right hand. In fact, he's okay as long as he didn't bring the left hand out, right?
That's right. You cannot. That's called a ward. If you're pushing away with your off stick hand, you can carry it with one, but you cannot push away a defender with the other. You can't put it out, and they can check there, but you can't push away.
That was Mason Booth for South Bend St. Joe. 6:59 remaining here in the second. Antonio Morel. As we see changes both ways on this possession here in period number 2, state championship 1A. We'll follow this up with a 2A title game. Carmel and Hamilton Southeastern. Might be a few fans from this will hang around to see that one. Ball loose in the back 15, goes out of play, and so a turnover for South Bend St. Joe.
Yeah, tough error there. Zach Yergler trying to flip it over to his teammate, Champ Farrell, and he just kind of loses it. Unfortunate for South Bend St. Joe. They needed a solid possession, I think, right there.
So Guerin returns, high pass brought down by Charlie Storty. Well, you really had to go high to get that one as they cleared it past midfield. And take a look at Luke Truffer as he works behind the cage. Left wing, and they'll bring it back out once again. So this is the Guerin very patient offense we saw in that second half against Heritage Christian. They didn't hurry anything. That was, you almost looked like you're thinking they're stalled, almost like they're lulling the defense to sleep.
It did almost appear that way in that semifinal game.
Low shot, man. It skips in, and this time Luke Abel.
Again. Wow. Luke Abel stepping through the lefty.
Well, now I got to ask you, I'm going to take it a little deeper into analysis here. Him being left, is the ball coming out of that stick different, or does it matter left or right? It seems like they have a hard time picking it up.
I'm not sure. It does make sense that it might. You know, it's just like similar to a lefty pitcher, righty pitcher, right? And the ball might fly a little bit differently. There's no lines on the lacrosse ball, so you wouldn't be able to tell, I guess. But I'm sure if you are a goalie, it definitely has an effect if it's a long shot.
We'll take a timeout. It is 3-2 Guerin Catholic on top, 5:39 remaining in the first half. You're watching Championship Lacrosse on IndianaSRN. Warm day here at Hamilton Southeastern High School, and it's warming up now for Guerin Catholic. And we talked a little bit about that last goal as well, and you got a little insight on that.
I did, yeah. Thankfully, I had a helping hand in here in the booth to kind of educate a little more. We had an interesting point from Coach Beasley about how if you're not seeing the stick behind the shoulder as they turn their hips, it's harder for you to know where the ball is going to go. So as a goalie, you have to be really vigilant about, I need to make sure I know where the angle of that shot. And if you're going low on that shot, it makes it even harder to react to that bounce.
That's crazy, whatever it is. Just the speed that the ball is coming in at the goalie is amazing. Luke Abel has been big here in the second period for Guerin. So now it's 3 unanswered goals for Guerin Catholic off the face-off, and a little connection there. Tobolski ends up doing a somersault and a turnover.
Perfect 10.
Isn't it? Well, it was very impressive. So Guerin again. We mentioned the momentum going back their way as they'll have it on offense, and guess who? There's 22, Luke Truffer.
Lacrosse is such a game of runs. You can have a team like St. Joe score 2, and then Guerin the next quarter go score 3, and St. Joe lays a goose egg for the first half of the second quarter, right? So completely all about momentum.
That's a right-handed shot that time by Luke Abel, so he's ambidextrous. He can go both ways there, huh?
Uh-huh, and a beautiful check there by Rainey to jar that one loose from Ben Bailey and cause the fail clear.
So Guerin gets it back once again as we're into the 5-minute mark here in the first half. Guerin 3 in a row. Can they make it 4 right here? Ball on the pass gets away from Cooper Navarro, and a turnover by Guerin. Rare turnover here in the second period. Had some early troubles offensively. The clear past the midfield stripe, and now South Bend St. Joe the other way. Ethan Fullenkamp on the right wing. Well, they denied that pass to Sarah. Tore down behind the cage just a little bit to the right, so they made South Bend St. Joe bring it back out, and here's Morrell. See, Guerin's going to stay man-to-man themselves as they work it behind the back 15 and return it to the front. And here's Luke Thomas. Thomas just kind of getting the energy going right here as he's ready to take a peek at what might be available as he brings it right wing and back again behind the cage. Morrell spins and ball tipped, and a turnover by South Bend St. Joseph. The Indians, patient offensively, come up empty. Here's the clear the other way. Guerin. Here's Truffer. Truffer spins around the defender, and we have a timeout, I believe, by Guerin. 3:25. We'll take a timeout. 3-2 Guerin. You're watching Championship Lacrosse on IndianaSRN. Back here at Hamilton Southeastern High School, Troy Nergowski along with Joey Lindstrom. Joey, by the way, will be calling the 2A game today, and I know you're excited about that.
I sure am. Thankfully, we'll still be together on the same team doing that and just flipping roles. That's going to be a lot of fun. HSE and Carmel. Carmel winning just by 1 versus Cathedral, who they've met in the state championship a couple times. But HSE looking for their second title in 3 seasons, barring the COVID season last year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great matchup. HSC dominating Culver Academy the other night 15-6, and just star-studded power all over the place. It's going to be a lot of fun. 7 p.m.
Yeah, you had a chance to call that game. Coach was with you as well, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
correct?
right. Yep. Coach is he's a utility player.
He is doing tennis today, I believe. There's a straightaway shot, good save as Luke Abel Thought he had that opening to the right of Ben Bailey, but Bailey able to switch over and then a turnover again. Unable to clear.
You know, St. Joe has had some trouble clearing in this quarter. Just 3 for 7 in this quarter, and that's tough because similar to how Guerin was reacting with their failed clears in the first quarter, the opposite team was able to capitalize, right? So we've seen those 3 goals from Guerin off the failed clears from St. Joe. Wonder if that's a factor.
So Guerin again on the attack on the left. Alley ball loose, picked up once again by Jakimowicz.
Boy, Rainey got crunched on that ground ball.
You like the physical play? I imagine you do, being a defender, right?
Oh yeah. That was my favorite part.
Skip pass, shot will bounce wide right. Pretty good look that time by Treffer. Here's that last save right here.
Yeah, big save, stand tall in the cage. No bounce on that one. Made it a little bit easier for Ben Bailey to see, and he secures that one.
So now Guerin brings it to the left alley. Ball loose. Good check again, as that was Ray Ferrani unable to hold on to it, but eventually picked up here by Treffer, and Treffer works it behind the cage once again. And now goes right side, looking to see what's available inside. Got a check right there, but here's Rainey. Rainey had his stick checked out front. That was number 19, I believe, Alex Gerard.
Alex Gerard eating that shot. I mean, I think he took it right in the back of the shoulder blade.
I'm going to say that went off Luke Treffer. Now, when you played, did they make you wear the chest protector stuff? Because don't they make them wear some padding and stuff?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, you got your chest protector that goes over your trapezius. You got your shoulder pads. Some guys elect to take those off, which I don't know if that's legal or not in high school, but a lot of guys do that. And then you have your elbow pads, your gloves, but other than that, no padding. Hopefully a cup. If you're smart.
If they don't, you'll know eventually. 1:20 to go. Now, they didn't used to, though, right? I mean, there was a time where you maybe had the helmet, but not much else, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I know some professional, like the Premier Lacrosse League, doesn't require their guys to wear full shoulder pads or what have you. They just kind of have maybe a chest protector, one-liner, if you will. Yep.
Oh, that's the tough guy league, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Such a tough guy league.
Flag is down. Under a minute to go. South Bend St. Joe not clean behind the cage. Off the pass. And now still loose. We have a little check from behind by Luke Thomas as the ball goes all the way to midfield.
Looks like this is going to be a slash.
Caleb Thomas for Guerin Catholic coming out of their lineup with 44 seconds remaining in the first half. Now, you know, speaking of the padding, some of them feel it's a little restrictive and such. If you had your choice, would you keep the padding or get rid of it?
I mean, I would definitely wear it. I'd prefer to. I mean, I know there's some horror stories about guys getting hit in the chest, breaking sternums and ribs, and that's not really what I gel with. I'd rather have something there. But I was also a rebel. I took my shoulder pads out.
So that's how you knew. There we go. See, the truth eventually comes out, doesn't it? Those are little dirty secrets you find out. 30 seconds remaining. Shot straight away. Good save to his left.
Sorowski has been solid in the cage. We learned that he played midfield pretty much throughout the season and kind of did a hybrid role of midfield and goalie, which is not common. But, I mean, he's just been impressive in the cage and starting their state championship game as well. That's a very important thing, to be able to have that leader back there who can play multiple positions.
But that's got to be tough, though, if you're thinking that you're making that change and then you've got to be the guy. And now all of a sudden everything changes for you. Are you surprised he's had that success?
I wouldn't say so surprised. I mean, and goalies have to be some incredible athletes as well. And more impressed, I would say, is not so much surprised because he's done well all year. And to be able to get to this point and have that trust in the cage speaks volumes of his both leadership and his abilities.
Well, he's been a huge factor here today. It has been all Guerin here in the second period. 3 unanswered goals, 3-2. Remind you again, we are done here. We'll have a little bit of a break following this game, and then it'll be the 2A championship game. The Carmel girls and the Hamilton Southeastern girls played earlier today, and it was Hamilton Southeastern falling short in that one, 13-8, so they're hoping to get maybe a little bit of revenge or later today on the boys' side. 16.6, so see what Guerin perhaps sets up here as Ray Franey will be in control. He's able to cradle that one behind the cage near the X in reverse direction, and they're just going to run out the clock in the first half of play. So if they set something up, we didn't see it. We're at halftime. It is Guerin Catholic on top of this one, 3-2. Let's talk about what you saw in the first half, because we really did see two different quarters there, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. It was really a tale of two different quarters, right? Yeah. So, I mean, you had clearing by St. Joe turn into offense, and easy offense at that. They score quickly. And then you had Guerin not clearing so well, but it just then all of a sudden in that second half, second quarter, 6 for 6 in their clears, immediately improving. St. Joe 8 of 15 so far, and Guerin 8 of 13 to finish out. But 6 for 6 in that second quarter did wonders for them. And Luke Abel taking over in those long range shots. If you can hit those, that's huge, because then it kind of spreads the field, very much like football or basketball. If you're spreading around the field or court, you're able to create more pockets where your guys can get open. So, and I'm sure that both teams will try to exploit those kind of weaknesses in the defense in those holes.
Yeah, Luke Abel, one of those guys, he seems to thrive on that big spotlight, doesn't he?
Yeah, it sure does. And while Guerin was still trying to, feel things out and what have you, feel the St. Joe squad out, they were able to also create opportunities for themselves, because maybe it was just a little bit of a slow burn and they needed to give up a couple to finally find their groove, but they sure did so far.
All right, we will take a timeout here at halftime. 3-2 Guerin Catholic on top. It's Championship Saturday, and you're watching Championship Lacrosse right here on IndianaSRN.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Inspired by touch, by play, by listening and laughter. Inspired by family gatherings and one-on-one conversations. Inspired by long walks, long lives, and lives simply lived well. Inspired by compassion, by healing, by grace and strength. What inspires us at Franciscan Health is you. Franciscan Health, inspiring health.
This is a great path because all you have to do is know how to work with your hands. And you can learn that on the job every day.
There's some self-satisfaction in building a building and driving by it for the next 30 years and telling your children that you built that building.
I have a pension and I have job security.
In fact, you actually make money while you're going to school.
College might be for some people. College is definitely not for me.
Having that stability has really changed my life.
Hi, I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSLA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to IHSLAFoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSLA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
Want to thank one of our sponsors, that is Express Lacrosse. They were established on Long Island over 25 years ago. It is the most renowned lacrosse club in the United States. Express directors, coaches, and alumni are respected nationwide because of their ability to lead, train, and develop outstanding student athletes. As a founding member of the National Lacrosse Federation, Long Island Express and its affiliates provide opportunities for their players to compete with and against the best in the game. Midwest Express, part of the esteemed Long Island Express family, was established right here in Indiana, and they offer highly competitive student athletes in the Midwest an opportunity to strive for their personal best. With access to the most selective tournaments in the country, players in the Midwest now have a level playing field with traditional hotbed areas. Attend their tryouts August 21st and 22nd for your chance to be the best. Hey, we want to get the clears in here real quick because that's another important aspect.
The face-offs.
The face-offs,
The face-offs, yeah. So, I mean, St. Joe is actually rocking it. So far, Tobolski is 5 for 7.
Okay.
And that means only 2 wins for Guerin on the face-off. So that's something that, I mean, if you can initially start your possession with a good face-off to get that going, gradually work the ball around and what have you. I mean, it all starts there. Every quarter, after every goal, it's a great way to get your offense started.
And I'll tell you what, that'll be key in the second half. Now, I know we'll have a little bit of time, but what's got to happen in the second half?
I think if you are St. Joe, you have to get your clearing game back to what it was in the first quarter. If you're Guerin, you continue that, but also try to win more on the faceoffs. They've done really well in transition, and that's why they've had their goals. But they've also had 2-man-up goals as well. So if you're St. Joe, keep out of the penalty box. I think you'll be okay.
All right, we'll take another timeout. Second half action is coming up. You're watching Championship Lacrosse on IndianaSRN.
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
It's 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon. You have 2 choices. Option 1, take 2 nanoseconds to reach over and put on your seatbelt. Or option 2, decide it's too much work for a Saturday and don't put on your seatbelt. As the seatbelt alarm continues to sing the song of its people, you roll your eyes. You're just going down the block, you'll be fine. You take a turn to the left, and that's when you see it.
Just wear your seatbelt. It's an easy way to save your own life. The Indiana Criminal Justice Institute wants to remind you that choices matter. Click it to live it.
Why do more graduating seniors choose Ivy Tech Community College over any other school? Ivy Tech offers flexibility, a wide variety of programs, and thousands of classes, including online options. Our certificates and degrees get students into a great career quickly. And if you want an affordable path to a bachelor's degree, we have guaranteed admissions programs with most four-year universities in Indiana. So you can start at Ivy Tech and transfer as a junior. Ready for a great education at the lowest cost? Complete a free application today.
In addition to Pacers basketball, my family's a big fan of 2 things: rescue dogs and great Connecticut water. So when we adopted Walter to join Bailey, he too gets his bowl of water right from our Connecticut K5 drinking water station. We take our water quality seriously, which is why we also have a whole home water treatment system. Improve your water like we do. Visit ConnecticutIndy.com for your free in-home water test. Connecticut, official sponsor of the Indiana Pacers.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Back here at Hamilton Southeastern High School, Troy Nargowski along with Joey Lindstrom. A quick update on girls tennis today. The team doubles championship was won by Carmel
So they have a couple of state championship trophies heading back into their trophy case once again. You know, the other thing I forgot about today before we begin the second half, baseball regionals going on around the state today too. So and softball semi-state too. Yeah, they're just everything.
It's playoff season.
Oh,
baby.
man.
It's the best.
Man.
It's the best. I absolutely love it.
How would you, if you wanted to see them all, you'd be in trouble because you can't get everywhere at the same time. But
thankfully, you can see most of those things all in IndianaSRN.
That's right. They did tennis earlier today, and of course today, Championship Saturday here at Hamilton Southeastern High School. A very warm day today as well, and I think that we're both glad we're up here. I know that Jerry is, and we'll take the shade and the AC.
Chances outside. Upstairs, though, with the tent, so I think he's all right.
Yeah,
he's
okay.
And
he's young. He's all right.
If he complains.
He gets no water the rest of the day if he complains. So we're ready for the third 12 minutes of play. You already mentioned some of the adjustments that have to be made. How important is it, especially when we saw so much momentum go back to Guerin, that a fast start for South Bend St. Joe really important right now to get going early?
I think so. I think you got to have kind of the same complexion that you had in the first quarter when we opened up the game. Get 2 quick goals. You got to get the ball to Luke Thomas, your leading goal scorer on the year. Your impact players, this is what all year. I mean, you can have so much success, but you got to lean on the guys that have done it every single game, and that's going to be especially important. Thankfully, one thing we didn't really touch on, neither of these teams having any crazy injuries to guys who have had a lot of impact this year, which is ideal for both squads. And already seeing how good of a good competition and how good defense both these squads are playing.
Again, Guerin in the white and South Bend St. Joe in the dark uniforms. Guerin on offense first to begin this next 12 minutes of play, and we are underway. Guerin, 3 unanswered goals after falling down early, 2-0. That's Luke Abel. Boy, he got checked a couple of times, loses it, and picked up by South Bend St. Joe. They'll try to clear near midfield. It wasn't clean, but they were able to get it done. Charlie Eckrich there, the junior for South Bend St. Joe. That pass goes awry and picked up now by Guerin. Off the turf was Storty. They can't clear it. Very physical here on the left side, picked up by Guerin, and they'll move it back to center field and past midfield, and the pass goes behind Jakimowicz. This has not been a good start either way here in the third. A little sloppy both ways.
I think somebody in the booth said loosey-goosey. That's exactly how it is right now. I mean, nobody really finding any space to work with. Anderson Davis had a beautiful check, number 15, his third of the day. Down here on Luke, able to jar that ball loose and start all that chaos in transition. See if St. Joe can get something going here.
Yeah, sometimes coming out of that halftime, especially if you're playing well in the second quarter, you don't want a halftime. You like to keep things rolling, and I'm sure that's what Guerin would like. On the other side, if you're South Bend St. Joe and everything going the other way, you didn't mind the halftime.
Absolutely.
But neither team real sharp early to begin this third, and the pass knocked down. Guerin able to get a takeaway there, and they'll now advance it past midfield. Right side now to Peyton Butts. He had a goal late in that matchup against Heritage Christian. And now changes both ways. 2 new players in for both squads, and now Guerin back on offense here in the third. 3-2 your score. Guerin off the left wing. South Bend St. Joe trying to force on the checks, and a quick shot, sidearm shot, and a goal for Guerin. And there is Rafe Rainey, and he lined it up from straight away in a long shot goal, and now 4 unanswered.
Wow, Rainey with a beautiful move and the nice dodge. She actually caught Mason Booth trying to overcommit and oversell, tries to get the trail check behind, doesn't go. And a wide open lane for Rafe Rainey to cash that one in. Makes it 4-2.
Boy, Rafe, again, he played sparingly in the second half in their matchup against Heritage Christian because of that cut on his chin, but he has come back now here in the third, and boy, 4 straight now for Guerin. South Bend so excited, a lot of energy early. That has kind of disappeared now, and the second now into the third.
Got to factor in the heat, too. I mean, it's a nice 83, 85, but with crazy humidity, and we saw that mandatory water break in the beginning. Nice check away by Davis, but a little check to the head to follow, so they'll gain an extra man.
That was
here,
Truffer,
or rather,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was Truffer on the penalty.
So South Bend, and then we have a collision on the sideline. So Truffer commits the penalty, and guess where he will end up? Yeah, I believe that you talk about how hot it is out here, and both teams are facing the sun, so they don't get much of a break over there. And neither team, I mean, there have been some subs, but they're not playing a whole lot of guys right now, are they?
No, they're not. They're keeping it all relatively the same guys, and that also has a factor, too. If you're not having good wind, if your legs aren't under you, and you got to get fresh legs in there, you got to make sure everybody's warmed up, and you can cramp or what have you if you're not moving around. So if you're on the sideline, best to shake a leg.
Yeah, think about how many steps they put in that they're going back and forth if you're running the length of the field.
Right.
Not a whole lot of stopping. As you see, South Bend St. Joe on offense following the penalty there on Guerin Catholic. So man up on this one as they're working on the left wing and straight away. Antonio Morel. And there's a shot that's going to be blocked there by Thomas, or take that back on the other side, Zarowski. But Thomas with the attempt, back over to Guerin.
See if Guerin can clear here. 0 for 2 so far on their clears in the second half.
That's going to be Ryan Glenn who will bring it across midfield, and now Guerin back on offense.
They do get it, and that's huge for Guerin to get that possession and make sure they have the ability to start something.
Screen set by Truffer. Good check there by Fullenkamp.
Nice defense by Fullenkamp. You want to be able to square up on your defender and prevent him from going any which way. And as a short stick defensive midfielder, it's hard to do without the long pole. Great job.
Truffer goes down behind the cage. Turnover by Guerin. And now South Bend St. Joe will try to clear in the far sideline.
Fuda with a nice ground ball pickup. Getting it out there to clear, but tough on that yard sale. Ball stays in, though, so it automatically go back to Guerin.
I'm not sure how he even stayed in bounds, let alone he had 2 Guerin players forcing him to the sideline. So now Guerin in the offensive end will set it up. Giacomowicz off the left wing. Under the 7-minute mark in the third, still a 4-2 lead, Guerin. There's a shot by Luke Abel once again. That one going high. That was a left-handed shot. We saw him do a right-handed shot earlier. But he is really very effective when he shoots from the left. Good block and a save by Ben Bailey.
Great positioning by Ben Bailey. His 6th save of the day. Coming at a really opportune time. You give up that goal, momentum goes straight to the Golden Eagles' way.
So now South Bend St. Joe, there's a look at Champ Farrell, the attack junior. South Bend has not scored. When was their last goal? First period, but
about 5 minutes in.
Yeah, it has been a while that South Bend St. Joe's gotten anything positive on offense, and they're down only 2. A goal right here would be huge for the Indians. Sarah Torr on the left sideline, and they'll bring it back out. We have seen this where Antonio Morel working out front. Here is Farrell. Farrell trying to work between 2 defenders. Down the right alley, ball loose. Good defense again by Guerin. They force the turnover.
They sure do. Good job by Ryan Glenn, as well as, can't really tell his number out there, 25 for Guerin Catholic. I believe that's Thomas Berger.
Yes.
Great work.
Guerin had it in position, but unable to come up with it cleanly was Treffer. Now Treffer circles all the way around, looking for an opening from that back 15 at 5:12 to go in the third.
Anderson Davis poking him away. They slide Jason, let him go.
Treffer ran 85 yards to cover 15 to 20. That just shows you how good a shape you got to be in eventually if you're going to play that position.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
Here's Ray Franey. No opening there. Back outside to Navarro. Navarro unable to hold on to it.
There you go.
Eckrich. Entry and the score. Flag down. Looked like that was Antonio Morel on the score.
Huge transition play by Eckrich to jar that ball loose, pick it up himself, and you have the opportunity. Let's see this again. 4-on-3 look, just one pass, and just one more on the doorstep, finishing 32 Champ Farrell. Beautiful play.
Boy, that was a nice pass. The second one, wasn't it, to put him in position to score?
Sure was. Almost an alley-oop. Majestic.
Yeah. It was great vision. I mean, how you saw him in time, but he did. And South Bend St. Joe able to get the goal 4-3. So after 4 unanswered goals, South Bend St. Joe comes back and makes it a 4-3 contest. Empire Lacrosse is your source for all things lacrosse, established in 2004. And their mission is to be recognized as a leader in the industry by offering excellent service, competitive pricing, and exceptional playing opportunities. From individual sales to team outfitting, leagues, and tournaments, Empire Lacrosse has everything you need to look good, feel good, and play great. Visit them online at EmpireLAX.com. That's EmpireLAX.com. Well, when you thought maybe that Guerin could pull away right there, they miss a couple of opportunities. You mentioned it a little bit ago that you get a turnover, you come back, and all of a sudden it's one goal.
It is, right? And so what that does is it puts all the momentum back onto the team in black. The Indians now have a chance to make this a tie game. Their face-off man, Tobolski, has been excellent. He's 5 for 8 right now, 5 face-off wins. He's number 1 in the country, in the state right now in the face-off X. And so, huge opportunity here. If you could take this, run away with it, get a fast break, possibly to get this back tied. 4:38 to go in the third quarter. You're in business.
You can probably tell that the South Bend St. Joe crowd is in front of us.
Yes, you can. Yep, you can see the Guerin Catholic crowd on the opposite side. But you can hear the St. Joe South Bend crowd extra loud.
Well, if I came all this way, too, I'd be loud.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Face-off won by the Indians.
He's got to watch his back, yep. And
yeah, that was Rafiaska who came from behind. So now the Indians back on offense. Can they get 2 in a row and tie this one with just over 4 minutes remaining in the third?
We talked about how good both these offenses are, but the defense is showing up today. Only 4-3 in the third quarter. But that's a tough turnover for St. Joe. You cannot let that happen.
Boy, thanks to Nathan Fancher of Guerin, he was able to get a cross on that attempted pass, and Guerin comes back the other way. Evan Baer can't pull it in. So another turnover by Guerin. They're going to make, I believe, Zach Vergler come back to the sideline. They started to make the change there, but they went back. Kind of odd, isn't it?
A little bit. I'm confused what the call might be. Obviously, we don't have a hot mic on the officials.
Well, they didn't let him make the change, and now they're explaining it to the coaching staff at South Bend St. Joe.
Got to imagine it's an offsides play possibly, but only a stoppage, not a major penalty.
So now Guerin back on offense. Jakimowicz, nice maneuver to the inside and got cut off.
I think it was the right move, not trying to go force that shot and back it back out so you can sub on a different player, and you see it right there. So here's Rainey, first team All-Stater.
Boy, Rainey so good in control as he works it straight away. Dodges the check, and then the shot saved by Ben Bailey.
Wow, Ben Bailey standing tall, his 7th save of the day, coming at a very opportune time. You need that save if you're St. Joe. Now you have to clear. This one, the most important of the game so far, I would say.
Well, they're able to virtually go untouched. Calvin Kerwin there for South Bend St. Joe, able to clear it, and now South Bend St. Joe will go back on offense. They'll set it up. Indians working on the left wing. A lot of open space in the middle of the field right now.
Yeah, as they exchange guys on and off the field, your substitutes come in, fresh legs like we talked about. That has a large impact.
Yeah, getting late in the third, and both these teams battling the heat today. We haven't seen a ton of extra players playing, and we mentioned that a little bit earlier, so imagine fatigue could be a factor, and the shot and the goal by Jack Helm. Wow. So now 2 unanswered.
2 unanswered goals gets St. Joe back into this one, and just like that, I mean, you get that dunk home. Lacrosse just all about runs, right? I mean, St. Joe gets 2 in the beginning. Guerin gets 3 in the second quarter. Now St. Joe, after Guerin gets that 1 goal, they respond with 2 of their own, and it's 4-4.
Yeah, listed Zach Yergler, as you mentioned a moment ago, that it was Yergler who ends up with the goal. There are a couple of 12s on the roster. But now we head the other way.
So Yergler's actually got 2 today, which is an impressive feat, and he's got half the team's goals.
Yeah, that's right. So now Guerin with 1:40 to go in the third. Back the other way. Short shot and a good save again by Bailey.
What a save by Ben Bailey, and he gets it just in time for 90 seconds to go. You can take a full possession here if you want, if you're St. Joe.
Yeah, that was point-blank range, too, man.
It sure was. That was impressive.
So now, more changes each way as you see the players come back out on the field. The back 15 now for South Bend St. Joe. Can they take the lead here as we are coming up on a minute to go in the third of this 1A state championship matchup? Indians working behind the cage once again, right at the X. Champ Farrell is the one that is working behind, and here is Antonio Morel. Max McGreal able to knock it away. Great play, huh?
What a trail check. I mean, you feed into that offensive player. You wait for him to go, and then you go behind and check his stick. Beautifully timed.
Shot straight away, and that's wide to the left, and really a good look. Flynn Leonard, just a sophomore.
Very solid look for Leonard there, and a great bounce shot, just a little bit wide of the cage. I anticipate another kind of look where they want to get an outside shot, because I don't think with this stouted defense of Guerin that you're going to be able to get an inside look.
Here's Morel. That one bounces wide to the right of the keeper.
And if you're Coach Margulis, you're very okay with that. If you're taking shots, you have 10 seconds left. Let your teammates back up those shots.
Down to 5 seconds remaining. Ball turned over. in the back 15, and that's going to do it for the third. We went back and forth. It looked like maybe Guerin was going to take control, but South Bend St. Joe ties it up. It's Championship Saturday. You're watching Championship Lacrosse on IndianaSRN.
Looking for a great family experience? Well, look no further than Indy's best campground, KOA Indianapolis. RV sites, tents, cabins, and glamping. It's just minutes away. The kids will love the new splash park, horses, and summer activities. Whether you're roasting marshmallows around the campfire for gooey s'mores, enjoying our amazing pizza delivered to your site, or hand-dipped ice cream. Don't forget to visit our gift shop boutique where you'll find supplies of all your gift and camping needs. Go on KOA.com to book or call us at 317-894-1397. Mention IndianaSRN for a free bundle of fireworks.
12 minutes remaining. Let's take a look at that save made earlier by Bailey, because again it was point blank range. That's great reaction time.
Oh, it sure was. I'm very impressed with the short stick defensive midfielder work. Gets beat on this play, does Mason Booth, but Ben Bailey there to bail him out and save that one. Eventually leads to the score for St. Joe.
By the way, we have a couple of updates. Guerin Catholic girls have advanced to the championship game. They'll take on Kankakee Valley tonight. And then Roncalli will play Mount Vernon for the title game. So a lot of teams advancing on a huge day in sports around the state of Indiana. And we've got a good one here, tied at 4 and only 12 to go. So now everything accentuated a little bit more, isn't it?
Score is basically, it's tied, 0-0. This is all you have are these 15 minutes. You've worked so hard. You've won all these games. You put in all this work, all the blood, sweat, tears, and any more cliches I could put in there. But 15 minutes, you're going to remember this. 12 more minutes for the rest of your lives, right? You're going to remember this forever.
Exactly.
Put it all out there.
Well, we will find out now. Both teams down to the final 12 right here. And, boy, you want to really cut down on the mistakes. You talk about clearing and all the things you've got to do, the fundamentals of the game. It's got to happen now. And I'll tell you what, the South Bend St. Joe crowd loves to stomp their feet.
Yeah, they do.
Here is Tobolski. Now for South Bend, the Indians working again behind the cage. Good look there at Sarah Tor as he works the alley to the right and now brings it back out front. And the one thing you probably know this better than I do in this game, you don't want to go away from what got you here either, because you got to stay within the limits of your game. There's a shot scooped up once again, Zarowski. So in other words, you don't want to do too much, right? I mean, you still want to stay with what you know.
Yeah, go with the basics, right? It's all about the fundamentals and how you're going to react to what the other team is doing.
Boy, there's a hard shot to the sideline. Well, that ball came loose, and everybody laying things out here in this final period of play. The winner will hoist a trophy. As Guerin back on offense, Cooper Navarro changing direction, looking for an opening. High pass again. This time Luke unable to bring that one down. And there's one of those, again, we haven't seen Guerin turn the ball over as much. You look at that semifinal game, they were very clean in the second half, but they've had a couple of times today they haven't been.
Yeah, they've been a little bit sloppy sometimes on the offensive possessions, and that does have a factor.
Well, speaking of that, there's another turnover. Here's Luke Thomas, and there's a flag down far side right after the takeaway.
Just a quick update on those clears. We talked about St. Joe gaining a little bit of momentum. 5 for 5 on their clears in the third quarter. Does that, just as we saw 6 for 6 for Guerin in their second quarter. So totals right now, St. Joe with 13 of 21 in their clears, and Guerin 10 of 17. So, I mean, you see relatively even overall, but at the same time, it's indicative quarter by quarter of how each team has done based on their clearing.
Exactly what Joey said in the pregame would be a huge key, and probably the biggest key to the game both ways, right? Has to be.
It has to be. It has to be.
Well, now we have 3 officials that are discussing apparently either the last penalty that was called
or what they're having for dinner after the game.
That could be too, yeah.
The burgers in the concession stand are very good.
Real good. Well, he had signaled if it were 2 penalties, it went against South Bend St. Joe, or did it? Because he pointed that way.
He did. He did point that way. I think it looks like it's on number 5, Joseph Sarator.
Boy, and that could be huge right here. 10.5 minutes remaining. Well, they didn't turn around and give you the signal the way they should have.
Yeah, you'd think.
How about a little respect here?
I thought we were closer, guys.
How soon they forget.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may have been, it will be Indians' ball. Tied at 4. Looks like to me there's the 5th player working behind the cage. Almost looked like there for a moment they were down, but
we're actually even. It looks like 15. Now. It is 5-on-5 for about not quite sure how long yet. Max Nickel in the penalty box for Guerin, and Sarator in the penalty box for St. Joe.
Okay, so we are even, as Joy had mentioned, with the 2 players sitting out for a period of time. And if you're South Bend St. Joe, you've come back with 2 unanswered goals and looking to take the lead here in the final period of play. This is Luke Thomas. You mentioned his name earlier. I really love to get him going. Thomas circles all the way to the left wing, and
you got the second goal for St. Joe earlier.
Morrell.
So it's full strength now.
There you go. Morrell trying to work it on the right wing. Brings it back out front. Leonard. Indians trying to take the lead. Sidearm shot and a save again by Zarowski.
Good job by Max Nickel to step in there, square up on his defender. He actually stopped the speed of the shot because of the way he got in the way of the stick.
So now Guerin back on offense. They've been very patient as Truffer goes by the attempted screen by Abel and now to the right wing. Now working the back 15 as you hear the South Bend St. Joe crowd getting into it once again.
You can see it as the clock cam is shaking with the stadium. On your screen.
Rafe with the shot, as a good look that time by Rainey straight away, and he had a whole lot of momentum behind that shot.
Rainey with the lone goal today so far. Usually we see this for Team All-Stater rolling through.
There's a flag
down.
Here's Rainey. He got checked twice, bouncing that one in front of Bailey.
So play continues because the possession has not been taken by St. Joe. Could change here, but as long as Guerin keeps it, this penalty will not start.
There's another one. That shot will go high as we have 2 flags down now.
I think there's at least 1 slash. I believe there might actually be 2. So we could see 2 men up for Guerin Catholic.
So you talked earlier about the trail check where you come from behind, and it looked like that was the attempt there. What would have made that a slash instead of just a nice attempt?
If he gets him, in the arm, it doesn't reach the stick. Sometimes if it's just all body that the stick reaches, then it's going to be a slash.
That'd be hard to see, wouldn't it, as an official sometimes?
Yeah.
I mean, can you get a clear look at it most of the time?
I'm sure it's, I guess you probably hear it on the stick, so we'll see.
All right, we got a timeout, tied at 4, 8 minutes remaining. You're watching Championship Lacrosse on IndianaSRN.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Well, the public address announcer made an announcement, and Joey, the crowd got a little saucy on that one.
Yeah, you know, the St. Joe faithful expressing, just expressing their fandom. It is what it is. It's state championship. Tensions are running high.
It is, yes. And
maybe something's in the cheeseburgers. It's getting everybody riled up.
And it's hot.
It's hot,
yeah.
Yep.
Sweating a lot. If I were him, I wouldn't make another announcement, though. So now, Guerin trying to take the lead here in the fourth. We're tied at 4. Very low-scoring affair. Who makes the last mistake? Oh, I'll tell you what, good deflection. That was 37, Calvin Kerwin.
We've been called his name a lot. He's had a couple different impact plays just like that. I'm curious why St. Joe. So you're allowed to have 4 long poles on the field at once.
Okay.
And I'm curious why they don't have 4 long poles. They have 1 short stick defensive midfielder. I mean, Ethan Folenkamp has done a great job today.
Entry and the bounce, and Rainey again, a little bit short as that one bounces over the cage, but Guerin able to get it back again. That shot, a hard one, bouncing is Navarro on the attempt, but again, Ben Bailey.
Would you believe it? Ben Bailey, his 10th save on the day.
Wow. Yeah, he's come up big.
Zarowski with 6, but Ben Bailey winning the goalie battle so far. Huge hit, too.
Yeah, and unable to clear it once again as the Indians get another takeaway. Ball goes out of bounds. The huge possessions now because things are getting a little tight. One mistake could make the difference between hosting a trophy and finishing in second. Were you a player that had ice in your veins? You were okay when the pressure was on? Or?
Well, I think it's different, a little different for defense. Okay. I think when you're an offensive player, you want the ball as much as possible. When you're defense, I suppose that, in a way, you try to communicate as much as possible off the post there, and you try to, your captainship or what have you, you try to be a leader out there as much as you can because you might not be scoring goals all the time, but we want to get the ball to people who are.
Yeah. Looks like we've got a timeout. We will take a break as well. Want to remind you, again, 6:28, tied at 4. This is Championship Lacrosse on IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
4-4 score in a quick water break again with the high temperatures today, and the turf holds in the heat and you're standing out there in the sun, so they'll do everything they can to make sure that both teams are well hydrated. So now I'm going to turn things over to you and tell me now, you got 6:28 to make something happen. Don't want to make mistakes, that's for sure. So what do you got to do?
Yeah, it's been this game has been sort of challenging to evaluate because both defenses have played so well. Both goalies have stood strong in their cages. It's 4-4 in the fourth quarter. That's not very common, right? Yeah. So both teams just trying to find one little space to work with. Yeah. And that's the challenging part for both these squads. So great job on the penalty kill by South Bend St. Joe. The Indians have been great on their man down throughout the day. Yeah. But Guerin has to be able to capitalize right now if they want to start to take over this game in the fourth quarter.
Well, they did so last week when they beat Heritage Christian, but it really was a whole second half. Now they got to find a way to get something going here as we're tied at 4. Who will score first and put the pressure back on the other team? That's Luke Abel. He's been big today. Abel losing it. He goes down on the turf. In fact, we have a little scrum going on right here, and it will stay with Guerin. Official making the call adamantly.
Quinn Boyer did a great job defensively on Luke Abel to jar that one loose. You know, loose ball push, you get it back if you're Guerin Catholic. Here's Rainey. Good D.
Not going to let him advance it easily, are they? Back outside, and the shot wide.
You know,
just
you're
to the left.
You're not. Sorry, not to cut you
You're
off.
fine.
You're not going to stop every shot. You're not going to stop every player, every play. But the work that Mason Booth and Follenkamp have done on Rainey, I mean, you don't ever have a short stick defensive midfielder sliding like that. But both these guys doing amazing, amazing work on the defensive end.
Turnover, Guerin. Indians across midfield. Now chance to take the lead at 5:27. See how they'll set this one up. Nothing available there at the moment, so Morrell receives straight away. Change there for Guerin is coming out of the lineup was Jakimowicz. He will step to the sidelines. Both teams making changes. So now the Indians trying to work it in position. Nothing open again. Here's Morrell on the right wing. Under the 5-minute mark. Ball loose. Luke Thomas goes down. The South Bend crowd wanted a call, and so did Thomas. He said he got hit in the head. But no whistle there.
That's really surprising. I could have sworn he got hit in the head, too.
So now Guerin back on offense. Can they take the lead?
And that penalty would have been unreleasable, so even if St. Joe capitalized on that, they would still be a man up after their goal, too, which would have been huge for them.
So a huge no call. Mark that down, a little asterisk, just over 4 minutes to go. Here's Rainey. Rainey turns, he falls to the turf. Good check again defensively. Follenkamp there for South Bend St. Joe.
I love the attitude of Follenkamp. I mean, he's just a bull out there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's any challenge that he's getting, taking it on.
Uh-oh.
That's a surprising call.
Uh-oh. Another flag down again. South Bend St. Joe will be called for this one as the ball is loose. But we're going to stay right here, and the testy get testier.
Yeah, Zach Yergler is going to get tagged for this one. So surprising, too, because compared to the no call that we saw, I could have sworn that one was not going to be called either.
So Yergler heads to the sidelines. Great opportunity here for Guerin at 3:42.
Huge opportunity for Guerin Catholic. Man up. But you realize, too, that this man down team has not let up a goal yet.
Yeah.
And that's reliable if you're Coach Margulis.
That is not an earthquake you hear. That is the South Bend St. Joe crowd. They're very vocal right in front of us, and they need them right here.
I love it. They're getting after it.
Rainey. Abel, and they'll work it around the perimeter once again in the right wing to Navarro. Navarro with the left hand off the post. The ball picked up by South Bend St. Joe.
I do think that Ben Bailey actually did save that one. I think it went off his glove pad.
So a good save by Bailey. Ball goes out of bounds, maybe last touched by Anderson Davis there. So tell me, if we go to overtime, what's the breakdown?
Yep, so overtime, very simple. It's going to be sudden death, and the overtime periods are 4 minutes long.
First one to score, then it's over.
What a play.
Another takeaway. Here we go as Calvin Kerwin, after the turnover, able to clear it, and will set it up to Thomas. Now, Thomas is the go-to guy, I would imagine, at some point here.
He's got to be. I think you've got to be able to get him open. Backdoor cuts could serve you really, really well. But a stoppage here, I think that's actually a turnover for illegal procedure, maybe. No signal yet.
Boy, that would be big. We've had one no call and then 2 calls go against South Bend St. Joe.
Yep, that was illegal procedure. That bites if you're St. Joe. But we are back at even strength.
So here is Guerin with the shot, and it's Luke Abel again.
That's who you want to have the ball in their stick, and Luke Abel takes advantage of the open lane. One defender in front. He probably could have passed it off to his teammate as well, but he takes it himself. Lets it rip.
Boy, as hot as he has been over the last couple of games, not so sure I wouldn't take it myself. Look at that. From what, plus 20?
Yep, sort of crow hops into it. Anderson Davis trying to poke that shot just too fast. Luke Abel takes the lead for Guerin.
So now if you're the Indians, you really have to work pretty quick. I know there's still 2:30 to go. They have been able to answer the call all day long, but now championship is on the line. Face-off will be won by the Indians. Tobolski, and now a stick down. Who owns that?
That's broken, actually.
Oh, boy.
Broken in half, those Lemon Mallow ones.
Boy, nice shot, and the goal ties it up.
You never see the long pole score that close to the net. Charlie Eckrich.
Yeah, Eckrich. Boy, how big is that to come back that quickly?
And that's exactly the purpose that the long stick committee serves after the faceoff. Is he kind of you'll see him right above the crease. He just kind of hangs out, and he says, "Hey, I'm open."
Wow,
nice job faking out Zarowski, the goalkeeper.
Boy, if you look at that, Eckrich dropping down a little bit, didn't he? I mean, side to the side.
Yep, he sure did.
Well, even though South Bend St. Joe had a couple of things late go against them, they did not hesitate at all. They came right back and scored. We're going to keep it here for this timeout. Boy, what a game we have seen here today. Tied at 5.
This is crazy.
It is. It's been a great one. Both teams have made their mistakes here today, but both teams also have capitalized on the other team's mistakes and seen some guys come up really big. That was maybe right now for South Bend St. Joe might be the play of the year.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, too, that Eckrich is one of the captains of South Bend St. Joe. This play, Luke Abel showing why he's an all-stater, man. That was one heck of a play.
Boy, we saw Abel come up big last week against Heritage Christian, and he's come up big here today. I'm really very impressed with South Bend St. Joe because, I mean, they could have given up right there.
Right.
I mean, the wind goes out of your sails, and you're like, man, we let that goal score this late, but they didn't.
They sure didn't, and they said, you know what, okay, we'll answer. We'll raise you one with a long stick midi goal. Crazy, crazy play. I admire both these teams for how hard they're playing, too. You can tell that fatigue could set in at any moment, but they're just pushing through it and playing really, really good defense throughout. You know, those last 2 goals, both examples of just maybe even that fatigue because both those players were wide open.
Yeah.
You know, maybe the first examples of bad defense we've seen.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly. 5-5. I don't think any of us expected it to be that low on both sides. But now a huge face-off win for the Indians. Tobolski out front here to Morrell. Now what do you want to do here besides score?
Under 2 minutes to go, I think you have to be able to just kind of work the ball around. I don't think you're afraid of overtime, but you certainly don't want it. But you don't have a shot clock to pressure you. So if they're going to choose to take this either on a dodge to go shoot or just work it around, I can't say I blame them either way.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like going to overtime. If I can win it here in regulation,
sure,
Well, let's get a couple of shots here, but how about that Guerin defense?
Crazy
Drawing that
good.
ball loose. Yeah, there's
Ooh.
a flag down. That's going to go against the Indians. I think it was Thomas Berger who took the shot there, and he is back up on his feet, but again, it'll go against, I think that was Antonio Morel, right? He's the one that, well, he went to the sidelines, but I'm not sure it was on him.
Yeah, Thomas Berger, another All-Stater. I think he took the brunt of the hit. Seems to be okay.
They must have called that on Yergler, because I think it's Yergler who's over.
So check to the head is the call on Yergler.
We've
So
got
a timeout for Guerin, I see there.
We're going to take a timeout as well. 1:14 remaining, tied at 5. You're watching Championship Lacrosse on IndianaSRN.
Is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Well, we're tied at 5 in an exciting back-and-forth contest. We have seen both teams again pick up the momentum, and it has been a fun one. You know what you hate about games like this, and I haven't been involved in that many, you hate to lose when it comes to this close. And you get just within striking distance of getting that ring.
Yeah, but it hurts the most if that happens, but it feels the best when the opposite happens. You know, when you're the one on top hoisting that trophy. I don't know, but as a player, you want to be in moments like this where it could go either way, because ultimately it's most impactful when you're able to, I don't know, just when you're able to, you can feel the tension, right? You could cut it with a knife, honestly. This has been such a fun game.
And you tasted that championship in high school, correct?
Yeah, we had won a state championship back in Illinois, and that was so much fun. To be able to taste that victory, and it wasn't as close of a game as this. Thankfully, I guess, but also, it's such a sweet victory all the time when you win a state championship. But if you win it by, one goal or an overtime, that much sweeter.
Well, you're man up right here. So if you're Guerin, quite an advantage.
I think you're okay with the outside shot.
Oh, boy, there he is
that
again.
one.
Luke Abel does it again. He was past the 20-yard line. We're going to see it again here in just a moment. But how about Luke Abel?
Got to learn to bite my tongue when I can. I think you are normally in a man-down scenario. You're okay with your goalie defending that shot, especially a bouncer like that right in the middle. But he goes right through the 5-hole, Ben Bailey.
Boy, watch this right here.
1 minute to go.
Boy, almost like they forgot where he was, and he was almost 25 yards out.
I think that's a routine save for Ben Bailey. All day we've seen bouncers like that, and he's saved them, but that one gets right past him.
60 seconds remaining. Does South Bend St. Joe have one more push to try to now tie things up and send it into overtime? Don't doubt them yet, because they've been able to come back every time. There's a hit. They're going to let him play through it.
That was a loose ball push, so it's going to go back to St. Joe. But no penalty. They're still man down.
So now going to have to be a shorthanded goal here, but they got to get it in position. 42 seconds remaining.
And Guerin's going to double naturally. I mean, if you're still man up.
Loose ball and a high pass out front intended for Leonard. 30 seconds remaining. Guerin chasing on defense. Can they get the turnover? It looks like they did. Caleb Thomas is in there, but the ball squirts loose again. Everybody scampering after that loose ball near midfield.
Time's winding down.
Look at all the bodies in there. Is anybody on the other
under
part
10
of the
to go?
field? Down to 5 seconds. Guerin still loose.
And that's going to do it. Guerin Catholic, the 2021 Single A state champions in boys lacrosse in what turned out to be a classic here this afternoon. You know what? If you're Guerin, those last few seconds, it seemed like it took forever.
Oh, my gosh. It probably felt like an eternity. I mean, the ball's loose. You're chasing after it everywhere. And all of a sudden, you just cannot pick up the possession. If you're St. Joe, you're trying so hard. And it's just crazy. What a finish to this game.
Boy, it was a great game from beginning to end after Guerin got out to such a fast start. And, boy, Indians came back every time, and now the celebrating has started for Guerin Catholic. And you got to really feel for South Bend St. Joe. They played really, really well against a high-scoring team like Guerin.
They did. They only allowed 9 goals on average, right? And that's typical, but we see a 6-5 finish because of the great defense that both teams played. I mean, credit to St. Joe. They played their hearts out, and to be able to come that close, I mean, hats off to Coach Margulis. I mean, his squad was ready. Yeah. But remember what he told us in the beginning before the game? We're so young.
Yeah.
I think you even said, you guys are just so young. How is this this is so awesome. You guys have had all this success. He said, oh, yeah, we'll be back no matter what happens. Yeah. So I'm sure the future is bright for South Bend St. Joe. But for Guerin, congratulations to the Golden Eagles. That was such a well-fought game. And Luke Abel with coming in clutch in the second half again.
Yeah, how
about it?
Just a clutch player. I mean, how huge is Luke Abel, especially when you know that if Rainey couldn't get the job done, which they keyed on him a lot, Luke stepped up.
The short stick D middies for St. Joe, Follenkamp and Mason Booth stepped up today against Rainey, who, first team All-State player, and he just was pretty much shut down, for most of the first half and the third quarter. Does get 1 goal to his credit, but Luke Abel, the All-American, again, stepped up and just sealed the deal for him.
Well, that'll do it for this one as Guerin wins the state championship. They got to the Final Four in 2019 and again the Final Four this year, and they finally then capped things off with a state championship here this afternoon. So we have one more to go. So I'll tell you what, pleasure working with you on this one. It was
pleasure
fun.
Working with it. Let's do it again. Huh?
Yeah, well, we're going to do it one more time, and I'll
right.
keep taking notes as we go. But your final score, Guerin Catholic 6 and South Bend St. Joe 5. Thanks to the entire crew doing a great job here in this 1A championship. Thank you for being with us. And again, the 2A championship game coming up a little bit later. It'll be two of the best in the state, Carmel and Hamilton Southeastern. You've been watching Championship Lacrosse right here on IndianaSRN.